Welcome back to Let's Automate It, automation and AI for non-techies. And today I want to build a conversational voice AI agent. These are the steps we're going to go through. I have been seeing this all over YouTube. People have been talking about it. They've been talking about ElevenLabs, conversational voice AI agents. So I thought I would check it out. I went over to ElevenLabs.io, and let's head over there right now because this is their website, ElevenLabs.io. If you don't know, pretty much this is what they do. They create, voices for AI agents. They do a bunch of other cool stuff as well. But when I came over here, I found this little voice chat button, and let's check it out.
Hey there, I'm Al. What brings you to ElevenLabs today? First time here or looking for something specific?
This is my first time here, and I'm looking to understand how I can build a voice for my AI agent.
Hey there, I'm Al. What brings you to ElevenLabs today? First time here or looking for something specific? You want to build a voice for your AI agent. Yeah, that's a cool project. We have a few options for creating voices, including voice cloning, voice design, and our voice library.
So I'm going to end it there. I think it didn't hear me properly. It might be something to do with the fact that I'm recording as I go through here. But I really like this. I want to build a little widget like this for my website. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to figure out how we can put a widget just like this one. Let me just, just like this one here. And we want to see if we can launch this on our website and build it with ElevenLabs. And probably going to need to get N8N involved as well. So that's the goal of today. If you want to know how to build a voice AI assistant agent, put it on your website so you can call and talk to him or her, whatever voice you want to choose, and have it, do whatever it is you need it to do for you, then here it is. Let's go. This is the video you want to dive into. So I've broken down the steps as I think we're going to need to do them. So the first thing we need to do is create an ElevenLabs account. Then we're going to need to actually build the agent inside ElevenLabs. Then we're going to need to add some tools to the agents. That's so that the agent's got a bit of a brain. It can actually do something useful for us. And then we're going to have to set up that tool in N8N. And then we're going to need to map the data correctly. So the data coming in from ElevenLabs is kind of been mapping into our agent correctly. Then we'll test it and deploy it to our website. So let's get building. So step one, let's head back over to ElevenLabs and go and set up an account. So I am going to try for free. And I am going to go and set up an account here. Great, we are into our dashboard. So that was simple. We're logged into ElevenLabs. Let's get started. So looking on the left-hand side here, conversational AI looks like the right place. And there we have agents. Fantastic. So let's go try an agent. Let's start from blank. We're going to start a brand new agent. So we're going to start from blank, clicking that button there. And looks like I can give it a name. So let's just call this, Lily. And so what do we want? Let's run through these details here. So agent and language, I want it to be English. Yes, additional languages. We're going to keep this simple. This is for non-techies. I'm not going to dive into deep, complicated things here. This video is to get you started to see the potential of what ElevenLabs might be able to offer us. So let's see here. First message. The first message, the agent will say, okay, so this is going to be the greeting. So I'm going to make a personal agent that's just going to be for me. So I'm going to go and put my actual name in here. Hi, Rob. How can I help you today? Now, you might have something like, hey, what's your name, or something like that. If you want to personalize this to, used for a broader community. Hey, hi, my name's Lily. Maybe I'll put that in there. Hi, my name is... Now, because I'm going to take that out because I am building for myself. So I'm going to know Lily. Lily and I are probably going to become good friends. So I don't need to know her name every time, but you might want to put that in. How can I help you today? All right. System prompt. Now, the system prompt is used to determine the persona of the agent. Okay. So let's go here. let's just leave it at that. You are a helpful assistant. We'll leave it there. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to come back and flesh that out. Okay, dynamic variables, like you will flick past that. LLM, select which provider model. It's obviously got some built-in AI ability already, so I'm going to leave it at flash. I'm going to leave these at default. I'm not going to limit the token usage. I'll leave that at -1 because that says it's not limited. Knowledge base. Tools. Okay, here we go. Let's go and add some tools in here. So I'm going to add a tool. So let's go to a custom tool here and let's add in a tool. So we're going to need a webhook. So I'm probably going to need head over N8N for that. So let's start with name. Let's give this tool a name and let's just call it N8N. And then we're going to get N8N, I think, to do most of the work. So we're just going to call this N8N at large. This is the tool you will use when asked to perform any task or retrieve any information. Okay, so we're busy building our tool at the moment, so we are going to need to use a webhook. So I'm going to head back over to my N8N. So here we are, we've created the ElevenLabs account, that's done. We're busy building an ElevenLabs agent. Okay, so I've actually got let me just save my changes here. We got to go over here and I've actually got a Pinecone chat. So this is a workflow we've built before, and it is a AI agent that just chats to a Pinecone vector store, and it's an N8N agent. Now, I'm not going to dive into building of this, but I'm going to clone this and we're going to use it now. But if you want to get up to speed, if you want to, we're going to assume you've got this already in this video. If you don't have this already, I just want to show you quickly in our channel. If you head over to Let's Automate It, you can check it out here. This RAG agent N8N Pinecone. Go and watch this video to learn how to create your own AI agent. We're just going to plug ElevenLabs now into this N8N agent, this AI agent that we've got. So definitely go check out that video before you carry on if you already don't have an agent set up. But any agent I think will do the job. We've got an AI agent here. You can have one connected to some tools. In this case, I've got it connected to a Pinecone vector store, which is just a fancy database that's been fed all the N8N documentation, so it can answer questions about N8N. So what I've done is I've actually just highlighted all of this. I've copied it and I've gone and put it into a fresh canvas. So you want to do the same. Just highlight all of that. If you've got it, if it's not a Pinecone vector database, maybe you're checking your Gmail, using a tool to check your Gmail, whatever AI agent you've got, go and grab that and put it into a new canvas. So I'm going to come back to my my canvas, and I've actually got one here that I've set up, and there you can see I've added in a couple of things. Let's ignore these ones off the moment. Let me just take them actually off the canvas. We'll come back to that. But here's our AI agent, and that's what I copied. I copied in this, and the Pinecone vector store. So that's it. If you look here, I'm just connecting with my credentials to my Pinecone vector store, and I've given a description of using this particular vector store and what it's in here, and so on and so forth. All covered in that other video. And then the embeddings model is text embedding 3 small, because that's all set up. As I said, covered in the other video. I'm not going to dive into that. And then here I have an AI agent that's got a little prompt in it at the moment. So this is the AI agent I am going to be using. Now, what I've done here is I've pulled on a webhook node. I've pulled that on, and I've attached it to the front end of this particular agent. And then in here, very important, I've chosen the option to respond to webhook node. That'll become important in a moment. But really what I'm after right now is this URL. So I want this URL right here. In fact, we want the production version of it. We could work with the test version, but I prefer going straight to production. Just actually makes things a little simpler with testing, I find. So we're just going to copy this webhook URL, and notice this is a post method. Why? Well, I've copied that. Let's come back over to our N8N, to our ElevenLabs, and we've got client option and webhook option. We're in the webhook option. We want to set this to post because that's how we've got it set in N8N, and we want to put our webhook in there. So that's what we're doing so far. This is the tool you'll use when asked to perform any tasks or retrieve any information. Okay. All right. That's looking good. I don't think we need to worry about headers. I don't think we need to worry about path parameters. Maybe we need to set up some query parameters here. Let's go in here. Yeah, we definitely want to be working with strings. Strings are just means it's data set that can have numbers and letters and all kinds of things in it without too much worry. And let's just put in here, I'm just going to type the word request. And this will be sent over to the LL prompt. And this will be the caller's question asked by the caller. Okay, so we're just giving a little description there because we're dealing with an AI. AIs are like dealing with humans. You've got to tell them kind of what's going on. So this query parameter will be the question asked by the caller. So that should work. I'm not sure we need to make that required. Just tick that off. All right, body parameters we're definitely going to need. So we are going to add a property here. So description, this would probably be, I imagine we can do exactly the same thing here. Let's see, the question asked by the caller, data string, and this will be, what did we call it here? Identifier request. Well, we can't call it request again. And I think we can do exactly the same thing here. Because this is a generic question. This might be more specific if you were building a tool that did one thing, checked your calendar, checked your Gmail. You may want to get more specific here in terms of adding properties. You might want to capture certain details. But we're going to capture the whole question and then send the question over to N8N and let N8N figure out what's going on there. Might add to our latency. We might have some delays in the chatbot responding. I don't know. Let's go and see. So that's what we've got here. So let's go and add that tool. Save it. What's that all about? I got something's popped up here, I think. See if I can. Invalid message configuration parameters. Something's going on here. Let's go back into our tool here and see if we've got any issues. Maybe let's just change these to different variables. Save changes, save. Okay, looks like that's what it was. Looks like we couldn't have two parameters with the same name. Okay, so we've got an N8N webhook tool. Now we know over at N8N that the tool we're going to be calling is a tool that is going to be calling an AI agent that's an expert in N8N. This AI agent is an expert in N8N. It's been trained on all the N8N help docs. Why? Just because I had this going already. This may be more useful as an agent that connects to your email or reads your emails, checks your calendar, whatever the case may be. But I'm working with what I've got because I want to keep this simple. So if this is an N8N expert, if a chatbot that's an N8N expert, let's just put this into the system prompt. You're a helpful assistant who is an expert in N8N. You can only answer questions about N8N if you are asked questions on a different topic, then gently guide the conversation back to N8N. Okay. All right, so there we go. We've got some basic prompting going on there. Okay, that's looking good for me now. I'm pretty sure we're going to need to sort that out as we go further. I'm leaving everything else as standard. Let's save that. And let's quickly, I think we've pretty much got everything there. There's this tool here, end call, gives the agent the ability to end the call. That was already there by default, so I'm going to leave it in place. Let's go through here. Let's have a look here, and let's see now voice. Select this ElevenLabs voice you want to use for this widget. So, well, let's just see if there is a Lily. Okay, I'm going to go with, who does it matter here? Let's go. Oh, wait, look here. Wait, there's a Lily. Look at that. Okay, so we've chosen Lily as a voice. Let's see what.
I have never been hurt. Say.
Okay, that sounds pretty good to me. So we've got a voice there. So let's go and save those changes. I don't know what any of these settings are, so I'm going to leave them alone. That's all good. Let's have a look at analysis. Not sure what that's about. Let's leave it alone. Security. Okay, I think we're going to leave that alone as well. Advanced. Timeout. The maximum number of seconds since the last spoke. If exceeded, the agent will respond and force a return. -1 means the agent will never time out. Okay. Let's go with -1 just to give us flexibility in when we're playing with this agent. Silence the call. The maximum number of seconds since the user last spoke. If exceeded, the call will terminate. Okay, let's also go to -1 here because I don't want to be having the call ending or something while we're figuring things out. So, all right, that's looking good. We're going to save that. And the widget. Okay, so this is the widget here. This is the widget we're ultimately going to use and deploy on our website. We're probably going to take this little piece of code and embed it on our website, and that's going to give us our own little ElevenLabs widget on our website. So we will come back to that. But right now, it looks like we have an agent that is up and going. So the next step, if we jump back over to our N8N here, and here's our... Let's just save our changes here a little bit. Let's jump out of this and come back and look at the notes I set up for us. So where are we in this build? Let's zoom in a little bit here. So we've created an ElevenLabs account, check done. We're busy building an ElevenLabs agent. I think we might be close to finish. Might have to fine tune some prompts there. We need to add tools to the agent. We've done that. It's fantastic. We added that the kind of, N8N tool, and now we need to set up the N8N agent tool, okay, and then which we've actually done. That was that cut and paste we did of that Pinecone database, so that's looking good. Now we need to map the incoming data correctly in N8N. So what that means is when we start talking to our ElevenLabs agent, it's going to send information over to N8N via the webhook that we put into N8N. So that's going to bring information in, but we need to map that information correctly to into N8N so it works properly. All right, so let's go and have a look at doing that. So I'm going to jump into here and let's zoom in so you can see it properly. Okay, so in my testing, I did actually pull some data in, and here's what it looks like. But I am going to unpin this data. So this is blank, and I'm going to remove this so it's not connected anymore, and we're going to test the agent. And the agent's probably going to bomb out on us, but what it will do is send some information in here that then we can map over. Okay, so one thing you'll need to do is make sure you take this active and make sure you're using the production URL. At least use the production URL if you want to follow along with me. By all means, use the test URL, but that means you're going to be changing it back in ElevenLabs when you want to go into production. So rather to start with production, make sure it's active, and we're good to go. Okay, so let's head back over to ElevenLabs now, and we have this test agent button here. So let's go ahead and press this. Let's call our agent.
Hi, Rob. How can I help you today?
Yeah, can you give me a brief overview of N8N?
I am sorry, I encountered an error when trying to retrieve the information. Please try again in some time.
All right, so I've hung up the call there. Now we know why she couldn't get the information, because we have not connected the webhook to the agent. So the information has come in here and gone no further. So let's go have a look at our executions, and we should be able to capture an execution that's come in right now with an error. And there it is. It's just come in. And if I zoom in, If we zoom in, here we go, we can see the error that's come in here. So let's go and grab this information. Okay. No respond to webhook node found in the workflow. Okay, all right, so this is something we've got to fix up first. Okay, so let's go back into here. And here's our respond to webhook node, okay? So I am actually just going to delete that off so I can show you from scratch. So we are just going to go respond to webhook node. I'm going to bring that onto the canvas. Respond with first incoming item, I believe should do the job. And let's just connect these two together. We will ultimately put the AI agent in between, but there it is. It's good to go. Let's go test once again with ElevenLabs. Let's call the agent.
Hi, Rob. How can I help you today?
Please, can you give me a brief overview of N8N?
N8N is a fair code licensed workflow automation platform. It allows you to connect various apps and services to automate tasks without code. With N8N,
All right, I'm hanging up there. It seems like she was able to call a native LLM. Remember, she is connected to Gemini. So she was able to get some information about N8N there. So let's go see what happened in that call. I think we can look at call transcripts somewhere. I think we can look, if we go back to our dashboard, call history. Okay, and here we can see what happened. Okay, so she didn't actually call the, she didn't actually need to call the tool. So maybe we need to work on our prompt here a little bit. So let's go back into our prompt. Let's go back into our agent. And let's have a look at our prompt here. Okay, so we haven't told her to use the tool. You're a helpful assistant who's an expert at N8N. If you have any questions, okay. Use the, and we probably got to use exactly the right name here. So use the N8N. Use the N8N tool when asked to perform any tasks or retrieve any information. As with so many AIs, the issues that you have with AIs invariably come down to prompting. So let's see if that was the case. Use the NA tool when asked to perform any tasks or retrieve any information. So let's just see if that actually helps now. So I'm going to save that. And remember, what we're trying to do here is get our agent to send some information over to our N8N so that we can configure our N8N properly. This is what we're doing right here. So let's test this agent again.
Hi, Rob. How can I help you today?
Please, can you give me a very brief 10-word overview of N8N?
N8N is a fair code platform for workflow automation, extendable and...
Please, can you use the N8N tool you've been provided to give me an overview of N8N very briefly?
I have received a response containing technical information. Would you like me to process this?
Okay, so I've hung up the call there. I had to force her to use the tool by talking to her. But if I go back now and we have a quick look at that call again, if I go to call history, and we look at today, and we look at transcription, I think there should be a later call in that. It's not showing that later call, but that doesn't matter. Let's go over, maybe it'll take a little while to populate, but let's go back over to N8N and see if we got a more recent. All right, here we go. Took a little while to come in. And here we have our incoming webhooks. I'm in the executions, remember, I'm clicking into this. And what I want to do here is make sure I'm in JSON over here. And then if you hover here, this little icon will pop up. And now I can grip all of this JSON. So I've made a copy. I can go back into editor. This is how I get around having to use the test workflow, the test webhook each time. I'd prefer to go this route and save this. And now it's pinned the data, and you can see here is the question. Give me an overview of N8N briefly. This is what we're after. We wanted to send some information over because now I can break this connection. I can set up this respond to webhook node, and I can now connect this into the AI agent. So the respond to webhook node is what's going to send the information back over to ElevenLabs so Lily, our agent, knows what to answer with. But here I've got data coming in. So just like this, we now want to pull in here we don't want to use the connect triggered node, the connect to chat node. We want to use define below, and we want to pull in the question. That's what we want to pull in. That is now going to let Lily access this tool and be able to go and get the information that we need. So that's it. We've now mapped in the data that we're after. So information coming from ElevenLabs is going to arrive at our tool. This is our tool. The AI agent's going to grab hold of the tool, and it is based on the prompt here. You're an N8N expert using only the supplied N8N vector database to find the answers. So she's going to go and answer these questions over here using this tool. Hopefully, that's the plan. So let's save that. And now let that's set up. Let's go back over to Lily here. Oh, there we go. That's up. We're waiting for that test history to come in. So it's come in now. Let's just click into it and see what happens. And if I go to transcription, we can actually see here she used the tool. She didn't use the tool initially because she's got access to her own LLM. But when I wanted detailed information and I asked for the tool, she called the tool and got a result. And the result wasn't very useful because we didn't have the actual AI built into that workflow at that point. We're skipping directly from the webhook node directly to the respond to webhook node with no smartness in between. So looks like that's working. But I do believe we probably need to work on that prompt a little bit because I want it to go directly to that. I'm just going to bring this higher up. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and let's save that. And now let's test this agent again.
Hi, Rob. How can I help you today?
Hey, Lily, can you give me a 10-second overview of N8N?
N8N is a workflow automation platform that helps you connect different apps and services together to automate tasks. It has a user
Thanks, Lily. That's fantastic. Could you give me some detail on how the merge node works?
I can definitely help with that. To give you the most relevant information, could you tell me what you're hoping to achieve with the merge node? For example, are you trying to combine data from different sources or something?
Just give me a very brief overview of the concept of the merge node.
The merge node in NANN allows you to combine multiple data streams into one.
Thanks, Lily. That's fantastic. You can end the call now.
Happy to help. Have a great rest of your day.
So I was pretty impressed there. There wasn't much latency on that call. It came through really fast, which makes me suspicious she may not have actually been calling the tool. She might have been using her own LLM to answer those questions, although I thought that was a pretty good response she was giving. But let's go back over here and let's have a look at our executions to see if anything's coming in. This is the last one we had. Let's see if anything else has come in. Doesn't look like it has. Which tells me if we go back over here and we look at our call history, again, just waiting for this later call history to come in. Probably takes a little while to transcribe, but Lily doesn't seem to be using her tool, and I want to get that sorted out. So let's go back over to agents. And what have we got going on here? We've given her the tool. The tool's called N8N. Let's just double check that's the name. Yes. The path parameters. Let's make that required, see if that makes a difference. And those are required. Okay. So we're going to save those changes there. I quite like this prompt. I don't think it's too bad at the moment. So let's go save that. I just want to go back to my call history here, and I'm trying to see, I want to see if this is coming in. It's not coming in yet. So I want to check, but I'm pretty sure because I don't have an N8N execution running here after the last one we checked. So I don't think she used the tool at all to come in. So here we go. Took a little while to come in. Now we can look at transcription, and we can see there's none of the tools. She's using her own LLM every single time. which is not a bad thing because that means it's nice and fast. She's got information going. Maybe she'll call the tool when she does need to call the tool. So on that note, let's push this a little bit further. So we've got our agent here. Now, what I want to do actually is add some more power to this N8N agent that we've got. So if I come over here and I come into my editor, what I've actually done here is I'm going to call a sub workflow. I've just dragged it off the screen here because I did add this one in earlier. I've come in here to tools. Let me delete this to show you what I'm talking about. I've come into tools and I'm going to call another N8N workflow. And I've got a workflow here that I have created. It's a sub workflow that gets the weather forecast for me. Create sub workflow weather report. So that's what it is. This tool, let's just call this weather. And let's just call this one as well. Call N8N weather report tool. I like to name these things as literal as possible because I think it helps the AI figure out what tool to use and when. So I'm just going to do that. Call this tool to get a weather report. Okay, so we've got that. That's set up now. So there's that. I'm calling it this weather report tool here now. Now you can go build one of these yourself. In fact, if you head over to our channel, and one of our earlier videos was, I'm trying to find the video. Where is it? Is it on this page? Let's look at some of the older videos. Whenever I search for these live, I struggle to find it, but I know it is there. Let's just type in the word weather. There we go. How to automate with N8N. We've got a 3-part course here, which you are going to, if you haven't done it before, run through this course. It's the basics of creating a weather bot. I've just grabbed this particular workflow that we built in these videos. You can just go to the very last one. It's pretty straightforward, and you will be able to grab the workflow I'm using. But it doesn't matter. You don't need a weather report workflow. Anyone will do. But let me show you the workflow quickly. If we go over here, what am I looking at? This one here. Let's go into overview. And here it is. So this is a workflow that's being called by the parent workflow we've just been looking at, that is originally being called by Lily. Lily's calling the main workflow. The main workflow is then reaching out to this workflow. We're using the Open Weather Map API in order to get the weather for a city name. And then it just cleans up that data a little bit and creates a weather report with some of the bits and pieces in it. Here is your weather forecast, and it maps in all the various bits and pieces. By all means, you can go and build this yourself. And like always, this will be available in our community too. You can just go and grip these, and it'll be available for you to go and play with if you choose. But this is now ready to go, and we're going to call a workflow. We're going to see if we can get Lily to give us the weather report for a particular space. So how are we going to do that? We're capturing the query. We're passing it to the AI. Now, in the AI here, I've got this prompt, you are an N8N expert, but sneakily, I kept it below the fold. I've added in this here. You're also able to call the weather report sub workflow tool to get the weather report. Now, these are not great prompts. This is just a sample to get things going. Of course, you would need to improve this prompt if you were calling other tools like calendars and emails and such like. Okay, but now she knows to get the tool, and there is the tool sitting right there. So let's see if we can get Lily to call this tool and get the weather report. We will find out in a moment. So let's come back here to our agent. There's Lily. We're going to need to work on our prompt here because we've told Lily that she can only answer questions about N8N and the weather. If you ask questions on different topics, then gently guide the. Okay, then no, I'm talking nonsense. If you can only answer questions about N8N and the weather, and if you ask questions on a different topic, then gently guide the conversation back to N8N. Okay, great. Or the weather. Okay, she is an expert in N8N and a weather forecaster. Okay. Use the N8N tool when asked to perform any tasks or retrieve any information about N8N or the weather. All right, so we're getting there, guys. I'm building this live with you so you can see the troubleshooting and everything else involved. So this is not one of those polished videos. Not that any of our videos are particularly polished. We're authentic. Warts and all is what you get with this channel. And let's see how we go. All right, so we've saved that. So let's have a look at Lily. Let's test her again.
Hi, Rob. How can I help you today?
Hey, Lily. I was wondering what the weather might be like in Cape Town today.
Good morning. The weather in Cape Town today is expected to be cloudy with few clouds. The minimum temperature will be 14 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 16 degrees Celsius. The humidity is 76% and the wind is 4 kilometers per hour from the south. The sun rose at 7:08 and will set at 18:24. Is there anything else I can help you with regarding the weather or N8N?
Oh, fantastic. Very helpful. And you can end the call. We'll chat later.
Happy I could help with the weather forecast. Have a wonderful day.
So that worked really well. Lily definitely called the agent, and you notice that latency there. When I first called her and I asked her for the weather, there was a delay. So let's go and deal with that delay. I don't think we can speed it up. When she's calling her own LLM, it's really fast. But if she's reaching into N8N to get the information she needs, it's going to take some time. So let's just say here, when using the N8N tool, before using the tool, reply to say you need a few moments to find the information needed. Something like that. Okay, so that should give us a decent answer here. Let's go save. And let's test this once again. Let's test again and see if this time we don't have a faster, well, at least we have that.
Hi, Rob. How can I help you today?
Yeah, can you tell me what the weather is going to be in London today?
I need a few moments to find the information needed. Okay, here is your weather forecast for today in London. The weather highlight is clear with a clear sky. The minimum.
Thanks, Lily. That's really useful. You can end the call. That's interesting. She's not listening to me. All right, not sure what happened there. Looks like we had a little bit of a wobbly. She wasn't listening to me. You should be able to interrupt these, and then suddenly she hung up on me. Not quite sure, but what we did have a successful test there is Lily did actually say, hey, let me, give me a couple of moments before going and getting that information. So she's just letting me know it's going to take a moment so I don't hang up. Let's just quickly go check on our advanced settings here because that looked like something timed out, but I see these are all set to not time out. So that looked like it was working well. So it looks like we have ourselves a working agent. We might be able to ask questions about the weather, of all things, and we've been able to ask questions about N8N, and she's reached into N8N's toolbox to get those, and she's also used her own LLM when needed. So it looks like it's working pretty well. But let's go ahead and get a widget on our website. So I'm going to click here into the widget node, and let's have a look here. So that's the code, but maybe I want to change a few things here. No, actually, for the simplicity's sake, I think I can change things. I can go into a desktop mode, and I can change this out to an image. I'm going to leave it like this so that this video doesn't go on for too long. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy this snippet, and I'm going to go put this onto my WordPress website. So I'm going to copy this snippet. I'm going to head over to the back end of my WordPress website, which coincidentally, with no future planning, I have open, I think. Here we go. All right, so I've created a page called Rob's VPA, Rob's virtual private assistant AI. Should be an extra A in there, but I looked a bit weird to say VPI, so I've left it at VPAI. So now I'm just in a standard builder here. I'm going to want to put in, I think custom HTML should do the job. If I just drop that in here now, that's that script, and I hit save. This should give me a dedicated page with this widget on it. Let's go and have a look. All right, here we have our widget is set up. It's not exactly how I want it to look, so let's head back over to ElevenLabs and just see what we can do here. I want to be the full, is it compact? No, I want full. I want it, okay, there's the mobile version. Okay, so I'm going to save that. I just like this little need help, start a call. Maybe let's change the wording here. Let's see, expand button. Okay, how can I help? And there we go. Saved, just made a couple of changes there. Let's head back over to our website because this is a script. If I refresh this website, this should refresh and give me, there we go, I've got a widget. So what my plan is here is actually now to take this address and create a shortcut on my phone to it. So I can just hit the shortcut on my phone, almost like, exactly how you would open an app on your phone. You can just click that icon, create a shortcut, and I'll be able to, in my car while I'm driving, hit this button and have Lily help me up with various tasks. Right now, all she can do is give me the weather report or answer questions about N8N because we're keeping it simple. But if we can head back over here and we can give all kinds of other tools to Lily. So I'm going to open up tools here and we have a host of tools where we can have her update an Airtable for us. We can have her answer Gmails. The list of tools here, as you can see, goes on and on and on. You may need to configure some extra parameters so that the parameters those tools need are being asked for by Lily. For example, if you want to send an email to someone, you're probably going to need to ask for a first name and an email address. And I would expect then if we come back to Lily here, under agent, under tool, you would need to add in parameters here to, add a property and add in something else like, name, email address, etc., something along those lines. But we're going to keep this simple. I'm going to stay away from that for now, just to get the basics in place so that you have the building blocks to build yourself an AI agent, and then we can build on this in future. But now you have got someone you can converse with. So let's do one final check. Let's go back over to, what I wanted to do actually is I've added in some memory. So I've added in some memory here so that Lily has some memory. And what I've done here is just added some Windows buffer memory. Very simple. And if I open up this, you'll need to define below, you can't connect to the chat trigger node. And you'll need to define below, and this key will be blank and it'll ask you to map a key in, but you don't get a session key from ElevenLabs. So I hard-coded in just some nonsense here, and this is just an ID, and this is work. This is let me have memory with Lily. So this is going to remember up to, five sets of conversations in the same conversation. If I reset the conversation, she'll forget her memory. To have persistent memory, you'll need to hook up Postgres or some other kind of database system to go with that. But for now, we're keeping it simple with simple memory. And she's going to remember up to 5 times. You could make that 10 times if you wanted to. So she remembers the conversation as the conversation progresses. So that's what we have going on here. So one thing I wanted to highlight, we've got the incoming webhook. That passes the information to the agent. The agent is using a model. We've got a OpenAI model here, and I've just got ChatGPT, 4.0 mini in here. Okay, we've got memory. We're calling a tool. We're using a Pinecone database to give her a bigger brain about N8N. Once that Once she has the information, we need to pass it back over to ElevenLabs. So we're using a respond to webhook node here. I went through this one quite quickly, but it's very simple. You just need to leave this to respond with first incoming item, because only one item is going to come out at a time. It'll grab this item, pass it back to Lily at ElevenLabs, and Lily, using her own LLM model, will be able to format that a little bit and give you a nice conversational answer. That's what's going on. Let's now test and let's come back to our notes here and let's double check we've got everything. Here we're at the test phase and we've added the chat widget to the website. So let's go and test this chat widget on the website to see if it is going to work for us. So where is my website? Here it is. I'm going to click on here.
Hi, Rob. How can I help you today?
Hey, Lily. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How can I help you with NATN or the weather today?
Lily, I'm flying to Johannesburg today to present a keynote speaker on the topic of N8N, and I'm not sure what clothes to pack. Can you tell me what the weather's going to be like in Johannesburg today?
I can help you with that. Just a moment while I check the weather for Johannesburg today. Okay, it looks like the weather in Johannesburg today will be clear with a minimum temperature of 14 degrees Celsius and a maximum temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. The humidity will be 70% and there will be a light wind from the north at 5 kilometers per hour. Sunrise is at 6:22 and sunset is at 17:52. I would recommend packing layers.
Thanks, Lily. That was very useful to recommend what I should pack. And can you give me the 5 main points on N8N that I should mention in my keynote presentation about N8N? Just give me the 5 points. Don't explain them. Let's make this a very quick and concise response.
I can certainly help you with that. Give me a moment to gather the 5 main points on N8N. Okay, here are the 5 main points about N8N. 1. Workflow automation tool. 2. Customizable workflows. 3. Integration library. 4. Community support. 5. Deployment options. I hope this helps with your keynote presentation. Anything else I can help you with regarding N8N, the weather?
No, that's fantastic, Lily, but can I just correct you? The correct way to pronounce N8N is N8N. If you can just repeat that back to me, and if you could remember how to pronounce that, that would be great.
Understood. The correct pronunciation is N8N. I will remember to pronounce it that way.
Thanks, Lily. Won't you just mention the word N8N again? Thanks, Lily. You've done fantastic today. You can end the call.
Happy I could help with your presentation preparation. Have a wonderful day and a successful keynote on N8N.
So I think that was a pretty successful demonstration right there. We managed to get her to correct the pronunciation of N8N because we had memory. It persisted. Now, of course, the next time we do this, she'll have forgotten if we refresh the website, because it's Windows buffer memory. Every time we refresh a website, it'll forget the memory. So she'll be pronouncing it incorrectly in future as well. But there we have created our ElevenLabs account, and we have an agent that we can use and talk to on the fly now using ElevenLabs. I hope that was useful to you. If you want to get hold of this, you need to pop over into our community. Busy logging into our community here. The explanation of how this works, as well as all the workflows and everything that you'll require, will be available here within our community. So, we have a full work community here with people chatting away. We have automation debugging. If you get into trouble, we can help you in here. We have a learning section as well with all the information that you need, all the N8N automations that we have ever done, plus a host more are available here within our learning community here. You can grab all of them in here. For example, here's AI and chatbots, and there's the RAG agent I was talking about. You can click into that. And in here, for example, will be the full video, as well as a full transcript of exactly what it's about, who it's for, what problem is it solving, how to customize, all the documentation, all the resources that you need. We do that for every single N8N automation. So not only only do you get a fantastic community that's helpful, that you can reach into for resources, to learn, to collaborate, we're also going to give you all these workflows that you can download and use in your own business or in your own AI agency. And we have live calls, we offer support, the whole host. It is fantastic. We hope to see you there. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope this ElevenLabs AI agent will be useful for you. Good day, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.